good one, and he's right.
The officials are Carl Hess, Ryan Kersey, and Jamie Luckley. We're underway, and Carolina has it first.
Duke thought that they were a little passive with Marshall in the game over in Chapel Hill. They wanted to make him turn his back, cut down on his vision.
Here's Marshall. Working on Singler. Takes it right down the lane. Short.
Got to his left hand, but the bigger cover in Singler made that a tough shot.
Duke's first offensive possession. Nolan Smith. He's short. The follow's good. Plumlee.
If Duke can neutralize the output of North Carolina's front line, it'll go a long way to their win this afternoon. Miles Plumlee with a nice position.
Turnover number 1 for North Carolina.
Not a good entry pass that time into Zeller. We talked about it. They want to get their big touches early in this game.
Carolina falling, but behind has been a trend we've seen in this tournament. Singler's shot is good.
Well, in the 2 games, Singler has been subpar, 6 of 31 shooting, averaging 9 points. But he's a bright lights kind of player, Tim. I expect him to show up today.
Carolina had to come from 19 down to beat Miami. They had to come from 14 down to beat Clemson. And they're down 4 here already, and they turn it over again.
Made Kendall Marshall pick up his dribble, and there were no outlets for him. A strong double team.
Plumlee's little jump hook. 6-0 Duke.
We saw Clemson go right at John Henson yesterday, and it's a similar start today.
This is the first time, Mike, I've seen nerves from Kendall Marshall. He looks tight. And this foul will be against Plumlee. This is on Miles Plumlee, his first, the team's first.
I would be surprised if Mike Krzyzewski did not challenge his front line before the game. I mean, the numbers are pretty staggering. Zeller, Barnes, Henson have averaged 45 points and 26 rebounds in the series.
Nolan Smith really causing problems for Kendall Marshall. Henson takes it in. He's still a goose egg.
You have to play him as a left-handed player. That's what he favors.
Inside to Plumlee. 8-0 Duke run to start this one. Barnes shot not even close.
Oh, the Plumlee's getting it done on both ends of the floor. Mason, this is what he does well, coming from behind on the drive, and then the finish down the other end for Miles Plumlee.
Duke is 11-8 against North Carolina in tournament games, including 4 in a row. Nolan Smith. And the whistle and the foul will be against Duke. It's Mason Plumlee. That's his first. Leslie McDonald checks in for Kendall Marshall. They'll sit him down and try to settle him down.
Well, it's a series of firsts, and this is his first ACC Championship game, although he has played with maturity well beyond his years this year, Tim.
So Strickland now takes over the pointers. You look at the GNC scoreboard. We'll keep you updated on all the scores today, but these are yesterday's scores. Bring you up to speed.
Miles Plumlee, his second foul.
Miles Plumlee had 10 points against Maryland, 7 points, 4 rebounds yesterday, but he has been banging the board, so he goes out. And we'll get our first look at Ryan Kelly, who's had a nice tournament, Mike.
No, he's been very solid shooting the basketball, but not as athletic as Miles Plumlee. We'll see if Henson can work inside.
Ryan Kelly, he's had 8 double-figure scoring games. Barnes splits the double team, tries to bank it in. The putback's not good. Henson kicks it back out front to Strickland. And that's going to be a block. Offensive charge.
Well, that's what Ryan Kelly brings you. We talked about he's not the shot blocker that either of the Plumlees are, but he leads this team in charges taken. Here's the look, and made a nice job moving over, taking it right on his chest.
And that ball's kicked out of bounds. 16:46 to play in the first half. 8-0 Duke. It's been uncanny the way the Carolinas fallen behind in each game.
Yeah, and but if they fall too far behind in this one, it's going to be more difficult to climb back in it. And The Duke coaching staff has talked about competing, and in the 80 minutes of the two games, they felt like they've only competed really for 20, and it was the second half of the Duke game the game in Cameron which they won.
Well, they came out this afternoon and have really started strongly. Plumlee backs in, and last touch by Carolina. Singler will bring it in.
North Carolina, there's going to be no double team help. They feel like Henson can play him one-on-one inside. They want to stay with the perimeter players.
Stepped on the line. That's a turnover. They're first.
We don't want Mason Plumlee handling the ball that far from the basket.
Carolina fans come to their feet. Tar Heels need some help. This is Barnes. He's had 58 points in the first two games.
He has had no room to operate. Kyle Singler really dogging him defensively, and then the rest of the team collapsing on the drive.
Still 20 on the shot clock as Barnes brings it way back out front.
Henson spent a lot of time on the perimeter offensively.
Three by McDonald.
Yeah, Leslie McDonald has been their most reliable three-point shooter along with Barnes in this tournament. Take a look at it. North Carolina in the first 4 minutes has 3 turnovers, 4 points off of that for Duke, and 2 of them have come from Kendall Marshall, a little rattled at the start of this game, and Roy Williams has taken him out, sat him down for a little bit. We're going with Dexter Strickland at the point.
Strickland, a 6'3" sophomore from Rahway, New Jersey. This is Henson. Zeller backs in with a jump hook. That goes halfway down. It comes back out.
That's his favorite spot. He likes that right block and turning to the baseline for the jump shot.
Ball is kicked out of bounds.
Yeah.
Well, Zeller's had a nice tournament too, Mike.
He's been so solid all year long, and they've asked him to play twice as many minutes. He stayed healthy the whole year. Had a little scare in the first game, falling on that wrist that he injured in his freshman year. But he has just been rock solid.
Been healthy, elevated their game. Everybody's elevated their game since Kendall Marshall took over the point, but he was showing signs of nerves here early on. Singler takes it right down the lane. That's blocked by Henson, but it's goaltending.
And this is a good thing, I think, for Kyle Singler. We talked about his struggles in this series, but he's been very aggressive. He has not been settling on his jump shot. He's trying to challenge Henson off the dribble. Good call on the goaltend.
Singler, 29 points against Maryland the other night. 9 of 9 from the free throw line. 10 of 15. Very efficient. Here's a foul. The bucket goes in. Will it count? Bucket is good. The foul is on Seth Curry, his second.
Some things break your way, and Zeller just going strongly. The ball's kind of stripped out of his hands, but still found the bottom of the net. Curry, his second foul.
So Zeller goes to the line. He's a 74% free throw shooter. Had 14 points yesterday. Key bucket in both games, the first and second game that he played in, and he converts the three-point play. Andre Dawkins comes in now for Duke.
Big minutes. He had important minutes last year in the championship game against Georgia Tech. Leslie McDonald is not going to give him any room on the perimeter. They'll make him a driver.
Plumlee out to Dawkins for three. Yes!
There isn't anybody who needs to hit their first shot more for Duke than Andre Dawkins. That could be a good sign.
13-6. Barnes with a fade away. Like, how about after the game Barnes had yesterday? Is there a tendency that he might feel like he's got to do so much? How about Strickland? Up and over. Singler, offensive foul.
Take a look. What an explosive move. Singler just turned around at the right time, had his back to the play. He was in position standing still and outside of that restricted area.
Was there contact? Singler. Dawkins is feeling it, had it halfway down and came back out. Singler comes away with it. Very physical game here early on. Smith to the hoop. Plumlee with the follow.
Well, the Plumbers have been terrific on the offensive glass. Duke in general, and that whole thing takes place because Smith is aggressive going to the rim.
Largest lead for Duke. Singler doing a great job on Barnes. Henson.
What a terrific move. We talked about it. Ryan Kelly, not as athletic as they are along the front lines, and what a great up and under move by Henson. And when he is dominant on both ends of the floor, this is a different North Carolina team.
Singler has it taken away. Marshall will push it. He's fouled by Kelly. So for Kelly, that'll be his first.
I thought that was a great decision by Roy Williams to get Kendall Marshall out, get him a breather, sit down, calm his nerves down.
Carolina and Duke split the regular season. North Carolina came in here riding the momentum of that season-ending win in the Dean Dome, which gave the Heels the regular season title. Ahead to Smith.
Terrific defensive play that time by Kelly, getting around in front of Henson and getting the steal, readjusting his position, not laying on him.
Lead is 9.
Smaller cover on Barnes.
Henson with the jumper. They'll let him take that.
They'll live with that shot all day long. You play the percentages. North Carolina lives in their pain. It'll be a long day for Duke, but you want Henson shooting jump shots.
Smith splits the double team. There is a foul. It's going to be on.
The foul has been charged to North Carolina.
Leslie McDonald picks up his first.
Team foul number 3. Substitutions for the Tar Heels. Number 1,
Kendall Marshall goes back out. Barnes gets a breather. McDonald, Strickland, Knox, Tyler Zeller, Smith. Nice rebound by Plumlee.
It's been Duke that's been all over the offensive glass in this game early. 9-6 rebounding advantage. 3 offensive.
Shot clock has not been a factor in this game. Smith. His shot a little bit too strong. Knox comes away with it. And the Tar Heels turn it over. Nolan Smith playing with a little bit of pain in his foot. He jammed his toe the other night in the Maryland game. Came out yesterday, though, and lit him up for 27. Singler beyond the arc. And Tyler Zeller pulls it down. Let's see if North Carolina can get into a flow now offensively. So far it's been all Duke.
Well, let's see if Zeller gets some touches with Harrison Barnes out of the game. He's their best post-up player right now.
Knox tries to follow it. Kelly comes down with it.
They're trying to get Singler post up against Watts.
How about the tournament that Kelly's having? 8 double-figure scoring games coming into the tournament. Comes in yesterday. This is a guy that's added 15 pounds in the offseason. 5 for 5 against Maryland off the bench.
And a very sound fundamental player, too. Always makes good decisions with the basketball. High basketball IQ.
Donald working on Dawkins. Goes down low and knocks a little jumper. Taken away by Kelly.
Very few second chance opportunities for North Carolina in the first 10 minutes of this game.
Crowd settled in. Everybody now taking a breather here. Let the game kind of find a tempo. Plumlee on Zeller. Kicks it back out to Dawkins. Splash.
And it's if you're McDonald, you have to have a sense of where Dawkins is all the time, especially now that the basket's opened up for him.
Andre Dawkins 2 of 3 beyond the arc. Plumlee a little strong again, and Kelly loses it out of bounds.
Back on the floor for the Tar Heels, John Henson.
Mike, this is what we were talking about. Carolina having to come from behind when you look at their deficits.
Yeah, and it's, but that's the level of competition is up dramatically in this game here, and they've really played a dangerous game in that. And I expected them to have a quicker start, but it didn't materialize in this game.
Duke has now won 8 straight ACC tournament games in Greensboro. Can Carolina stop that run? To do it, they're going to have another comeback here this afternoon. Kendall Marshall still struggling. Benson with the turnaround. Right now, North Carolina can't buy a basket. Great defense by Duke.
Well, the thing is that Duke has kept them in the half-court, Tim. There's been no easy run-out plays.
Smith, the bucket, and he's fouled. Nolan Smith, the 185-pound senior from Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
Gave him a little bit of a clear out, and if he gets to his right hand, it's tough. Strickland is a terrific defensive player, but if Nolan Smith goes right, it's going to be trouble.
Dexter Strickland has now picked up his 3rd personal foul. So he'll go out of the ball game, and after a short rest, McDonald comes back in for Carolina.
Yeah, that's the thing. In this series, we talked about it, that the guards have really dominated the series for Duke. Nolan Smith averaging 32 points in the first 2 games. Seth Curry averaging 21.
Smith now has 5 in this game.
4 minutes without a point for North Carolina.
Barnes still looking for the bottom.
He's had to take tough shots too. Fadeaways. Defense has been very, very stout. 0 of 5 now to start the game for Harrison Barnes.
What a great pass. Singler can't catch up to it. It's another turnover by Carolina. Good idea, poor execution by Duke.
And both Singler and Smith smiling about that one. They're feeling an opportunity lost right there.
Big Ten Championship coming up as you look at the GMC scoreboard. Big surprise, Penn State in that title game.
The pressure by Nolan Smith on Marshall has been incredible, but a nice post-up. First real good look that Zeller's gotten.
But even on that possession, Mike, they had to work so hard to get it.
Not a lot of ball movement. It was really dominated by Marshall dribbling the basketball.
Almost 5 minutes between baskets for Carolina. This is Kelly. Yes. Kelly now has 4 points.
Duke shooting an incredible 12 of 19 from the floor here early. And that's Singler. We're talking about him being aggressive. Instead of coming out to the sideline, he curled that screen and created the jump shot.
This foul is going to be on Andre Dawkins, right in the back of Barnes. That'll be his first. So Miles Plumlee comes back into the game, and Kelly will go out. It's now 1-1 for Carolina.
This is maybe the opportunity that Barnes, he hasn't seen a big basket, 0 of 5, but maybe gets to the free throw line, gets a little confidence and some rhythm.
And he makes the first. Closed captioning for today's telecast provided by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time. Barnes a 74% free throw shooter. Misses the second. So 1 of 2, he continues to struggle. Look at the field goal percentage, Mike. Not what we anticipated. Turnover here for Duke. That's 5.
Singler on the curl, trying to get a quick start, took a step.
Marshall was calling for a clear out on that side. Nobody heard him. Now he takes it right to the hoop, comes up short. Follows his own shot.
Oh, what an incredible play, not only on the offensive rebound, but he faked the pass to Henson. It froze the Duke defenders, and he went right back up.
Carolina fans are on their feet. Haven't had a lot to cheer about, but they sense a little bit of a run. A look at Harrison Barnes and his numbers. Everybody's still talking about those 40 points in the semifinals against Clemson.
But it's really down this end of the floor that North Carolina has to tighten things up. They've got to get some stops. They're not scoring the ball, but Duke shooting a very high percentage so far.
Back outside to Smith. Shot clock is at 7.
Plumlee wants it.
I don't think he sees it.
Yeah,
shot clock is at 3. Lets it go at 1 and banks it in. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I thought that was a little casual by Nolan Smith, but he got a brush screen and enough to get the shot up.
Barnes with the alley-oop.
Well, terrific play that time by Kendall Marshall. The eye contact with Barnes, and they got a backdoor over the top of the defense.
Here's Singler again. Out to Nolan Smith. Henson rips it away from Plumlee. That's 4 rebounds now. Inside to Tyler Zeller. Here come the Tar Heels.
He is so solid with his post moves, and Kinshody can score with his left hand that time. Normally he turns over his left shoulder.
Carolina needs a stop. How about the start that he's had?
Well,
oh my gracious.
Yeah, you got Seth Curry and Andre Dawkins stepping up from the three-point line.
But Curry's had a terrific tournament. You talk about stepping up. Seth Curry sat out last year after transferring from Liberty, and he's had a terrific tournament here this year. McDonald goes inside. Henson will go to the line to shoot 2. Foul is on Plumlee. Mason Plumlee, his second.
Over this stretch now, Henson spent a lot of the first part of this game on the perimeter, Tim, setting screens. Now he's worked himself back into the block. He and Zeller are getting touches in the paint.
Henson had that big second half yesterday with ended with 18 points. Reminder coming up at halftime, we'll have analysis for you, highlights, stats, and a whole lot more. That's all coming up on the Hardy's halftime report. Henson has another one coming. He's improved at the line as the year has gone on. He gets the roll. Back up to Singler. Singler looks for help. Seth Curry back to Nolan Smith. Curry left alone beyond the arc. Looks like Kendall Marshall has settled into the game. To Henson.
Seth Curry with the steal off the offensive rebound.
Let's go back to the other side. Roy Williams says that Tyler Zeller was pushed.
No indication from the referee right now. Anytime the ball goes down, the play usually goes for that, and I think they're going to maybe look at Zeller with the elbow. Really no play, or the push by Singler at that time.
So the officials will go to the monitor again. It's Carl Hess, Brian Kersey, and Jamie Luckey, the officials.
I think that's what they're looking at with Kyle Singler. Zeller got his elbow up on the play, and then Singler pushed him down afterwards.
And again, there's a halt to the play. We had it a while ago to clean up some blood on the floor. Now we've got it here, review a play.
Doesn't look like there's going to be anything.
No.
They just had to review the play, and there was nothing going to be called.
Yeah, both coaches seem okay with that. I want to remind you once again to be sure to check out ontheline.com. See why 1 in 6 is a statistic that you should know about. And see what Aaron Andrews has in common with Digger Phelps and Billy Packer. It's ontheline.com. You got to read it and you got to see it.
I think that was a correct call. I mean, the referees are compelled to take a look at it, but really nothing there from either player.
Nolan Smith with a fall-away jumper. He's now in double figures. Yeah, it's a championship game, Mike. Let him play on. Barnes, they double him, kicks it back out to McDonald.
Any drive, a big is going to step up for Duke and give Singler support.
Looked like Henson made that shot a little more difficult than he had to do it.
Yeah, and no double teams coming down on the big, so Henson's, that's a shot that he's got to make. He had terrific position right in front of the rim.
This foul's going to be against McDonald. That's his second.
Team foul number 5, checking in for North Carolina, number 25, Justin Knox. And for Duke, number 5, Mason Plumlee.
Tyler Zeller goes out, gets a little breather. Fouls are starting to mount up, especially for Carolina. Shot clock really hasn't been a factor. The one time Nolan Smith hit a 3-ball when he noticed it late. Inside they go to Plumlee. Plumlee is fouled by Henson.
And that's a play you rarely see him make. He's one of the best shot blockers in the nation, and he got a reach him call at the time. And I think the reason why that North Carolina is getting into foul trouble, Duke has been very aggressive. They've shot very few threes in this game so far. They've been attacking the rim.
So Miles Plumlee draws iron on the first one. He's only a 60% free throw shooter if you look at the GMC scoreboard. But the second will come in. An empty trip for Duke. See if Carolina can take that empty trip and build on it. And he walked.
And that's the thing. It's been other people who have been making plays. They've gotten the ball out of Marshall's hands, and he really hasn't run much of the offense in this game.
Mike, that's 8 turnovers for North Carolina. We've seen him in the first 2 games in this tournament turn the ball over a lot.
They've played, you know, Clemson is a very, very good defensive team, as is Duke.
Curry looked at the 3, dribbles inside, and has it taken away.
And a pretty good play by Marshall.
Ahead to Henson. And the foul. What a look by Kendall Marshall. 7 guys in the box score already for the Blue Devils. But this is John Henson. Can't complete the 3-point play. And Duke turns it over. That's a travel. So Carolina will get it back.
Seven turnover the game for Duke team, so they're not doing a great job taking care of the basketball.
Just have that feeling that Carolina hasn't even gotten into their rhythm yet. They're doing a great job on Barnes. Every time he touches it, he's got 2 guys on him. Tough shot.
There have been no easy shots.
Right.
There are very few, and Duke has kept them in the half court, which has been a big key. Only 2 fast break points for North Carolina to this point in the game.
Singler steps back. Now when Carolina comes down this time, let's watch that defense, because they extend it and they lock on.
That's the first jump shot he's really taken, and he was short on it.
Henson gets it back. Kelly did a great job to knock that ball loose.
Well, he's a sneaky shot blocker too, a timing shot blocker, a lot different than Henson.
13 on the shot clock. Marshall tries to get it over to Knox. It's knocked out of bounds with 11 on the shot clock.
Back on the floor for North Carolina, Tyler Zeller.
So Tyler Zeller comes back in, checks in for Henson. Shot clock is down to 8. Shot clock at 4. Nice job by McDonald to draw the foul on Nolan Smith. Our principal financial edge of the game is Star Watch, as we look at Nolan Smith with 10 points, 4 of 10 from the field, and Barnes really struggling, Mike.
Well, that's what both teams talked about, is making the other team's scorers shoot a very low percentage. They know you're not going to shut people out, but Barnes struggling in this game, 1 of 6, and Actually, you look at it, and North Carolina would probably live with Nolan Smith shooting 4 for 10 or 4 for 11.
McDonald misses the free throw. He is a 70% free throw shooter. The sophomore from Memphis. Everybody else struggling right now. He's Carolina's top scorer off the bench. They need him to contribute. And he makes the second. He now has 4 points.
Right, look for Duke to play him the way they did. You don't want to let him get good looks from the three. You want to make him a driver, which he had to do in that situation.
Smith takes it to the hoop. How about that pass? The wraparound to Kelly.
All right, it's Ryan Kelly. 3 for 3 now from the floor. 2 rebounds, 6 points.
He's had a heck of a tournament as Zeller loses it out of bounds. 9 turnovers for the Tar Heels.
There's the luck. Nolan Smith has had to do so much, averaging over 20 points and 5 assists. Good find, knowing where your big is going to be at the end of that play. 3 assists for him on the game.
Again, he penetrates, kicks it back out. This is Dawkins for 3. Yes!
Well, I tell you, it's amazing a thing what body language is. And Andre Dawkins is just full of it right now. He's on fire.
Pushes the lead to 18. Marshall inside. Little jump hook. Zeller is pushed out of the way. So it will be on Kelly, and that's Ryan Kelly's second personal. So Tyler Zeller will go to the line. I told you that Zeller had 14 points yesterday, but he had key buckets in both the quarterfinals and the semifinals.
Yeah, the game winner against Miami, and then the game tying shot against Clemson that sent it into overtime. And he is the best shooting free throw shooter, front line guy in the ACC. So he's a guy that you're going to go to at the end of the games.
Well, they need him now, Mike, because they are trying to manufacture points.
And with Barnes struggling, they've got to get something out of the interior.
This has not been the first half that North Carolina had hoped for. Duke, on the other hand, Blue Devils have been spectacular. Smith looks up at the shot clock. It's got 15. He drifts way out to midcourt. Now he takes it down the middle. The floater. The finish.
Boy,
How about Plumlee?
It has been Duke's front line that has been dominant in this game so far, and that's why they have an 18-point lead. They are all over the offensive glass.
Another great pass, and the answer at the other end.
Carolina needed that, too. Justin Knox is very aggressive when he comes in looking for his offense.
Justin Knox, the graduate student who played 3 years at Alabama, comes and answers the call.
A little floater that time draws up the back line, and that allows Plumlee in. You see the split of it. Zeller got caught out of position.
Well, a packed house, 23,500 fans here have jammed in to watch this game between Duke and North Carolina, expecting a classic. But so far, it's been all Duke. 32.7 seconds remain in the first half.
What you want now if you're Duke, you want to make absolutely sure you take the last shot of the half.
Shot clock is off. Game clock at 15. So Smith will move with 10. Final 10 seconds of the first half. Down to 5. Smith loses it. Carolina is fouled by Kyle Singler.
Absolutely. The last thing that Duke wanted to happen to get credit North Carolina defensively playing a little bit better. I thought Nolan Smith was a little casual at the end of that play. McDonald played him well and forced the turnover, and Singler picks up the foul.
Leslie McDonald shooting 2.
So Singler now with 2, and Leslie McDonald goes to the line. 6 seconds left. I told you earlier, McDonald's a 70% free throw shooter, but he has missed here this afternoon, and he puts that one down. He now has 5 points. 42-27. 42-28. 0.6 seconds left. All right, Scott, thanks. We're all set to go now. Duke leading 42-28. The Blue Devils were 5 of 9 from beyond the arc in that first half. If it wasn't for free throws, Carolina would really be out of this, but they were 9 for 12 at the line. Duke will try to maintain the exact same intensity they had early. Singler, pump fake, takes it down the lane, little floater, and he scores.
He's only taken one jump shot. He's been very aggressive in this game, Tim. He's curled screens. He's gotten into the lane.
Tyler Zeller with a jump hook. Still throws up a brick. Nothing has come easily for North Carolina today. Smith into the paint with a floater. Marshall kicks it out to Barnes. Henson with a rebound. Takes it up strong. Can't finish. Henson again. There's some of the resolve we did not see in the first half.
No, and it's also now the 11th offensive rebound that North Carolina has gotten, but they haven't converted many of them up to that point. But one of the few rushes up the floor that they've had.
Plumlee is blocked, and it goes off the foot of Zeller. One of those days.
First block shot for Henson in this game, and I'm sure he was challenged at halftime to be more dominant on both ends of the floor.
Henson came into the game with 11 straight double-digit rebounding games. He's got 10 here today. Singler, the bonus sphere, can't finish. Hits the iron and comes back out to Kendall Marshall.
That was the recipe last year for success, to get offensive rebounds and open looks at threes. And Singler had 2 good looks, which he wasn't able to knock down.
Marshall to Tyler Zeller.
Nice dig in that time by Seth Curry. Zeller brought the ball down, and that brings guards into play.
Mike, you know, they came into this tournament talking about Singler being in a little bit of a slump, but then he came in, lit up Maryland for 29.
Two blocks now, one for Zeller, one for Henson.
Again, Nolan Smith jumps on Kendall Marshall. Two guys from the Washington, D.C. area know each other. Really battling this afternoon. Shot clock is down to 15. The jump hook by Zeller is no good. Barnes with the follow.
Yeah, strong play. Good to see Harrison Barnes. His jump shot has not been there. Working himself into the offensive glass. And North Carolina's front line starting to assert itself in this game for the first time. Here it is. We talked about the blocks coming alive. Zeller getting a piece of that one. And then Harrison Barnes flying in from the weak side, starting to become a factor.
Carolina has trailed by as many as 18. Duke has controlled the tempo, has controlled this game from the get-go. Carolina now has cut it to 14, cut it to 12. Here we are at a 12-point differential. We'll see if they can get a stop defensively. Singler. No, sir. Duke still performing at a high level as Singler knocks down a 3.
Much better balance on that jump shot. You would think he had some early ones that fell short. Looked much stronger.
And that's going to be last touch by Kendall Marshall. What a game he's had. He's really struggled. Had a few very nice assists along the course to Henson. But he looked like a freshman early in the ball game.
Yeah, and it's a different deal. I mean, you know, playing in the ACC tournament is one thing, but in the championship game, it's another first that you go through.
Singler off balance. And we mean no disrespect to Kendall Marshall. He is a terrific player, but he just looked a little unnerved early.
Well, and it's not just the circumstance. He's got one of the best defensive guards in the country playing him, and Nolan Smith is
player of the year.
Yeah, to getting the ball out of his hands.
So Barnes will bring it in. 16:39 to play in the ball game. We're looking for that patented Carolina run. Make it a little more interesting in the Greensboro Coliseum. Barnes fades away. Look out, here comes Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, maybe that offensive rebound gets him going. A good recognition. He had a smaller cover on him on Nolan Smith and dove right into the post.
Barnes has hit his last 2 shots. Singler goes inside. Plumlee's jump hook gets the roll.
Between Miles and Mason Plumlee and Ryan Kelly, they have not missed a shot in this game.
How impressive is that? Kendall Marshall is fouled by Nolan Smith. That's 2 on Nolan Smith.
The passionate Duke fans there, and I want to take time to say hello and best wishes to Bill Brill, a good friend who's at home ill and on the road to recovery, and wish him well. Know he's watching it, know he really misses covering this event. He's been a terrific sports writer for a long, long time.
Good job, Mike. We certainly miss him down here. You're right. One of the all-time greats. Duke has had a double-digit lead since it was 17-8. Kendall Marshall misses the free throw. The frustration starting to show a little bit in his body language. Look at his numbers today. 2 points, 4 assists, 4 turnovers.
Well, you can see, too, it gets reflected in the field goal percentage that he has not been able to run the offenses as efficiently as he has in games past, and it's showing up in the field goal percentage for North Carolina.
They try to trap Singler. Over to Smith. Somebody's got to be open down low, so they kick it. Now Smith again. Shot clock at 15.
Nolan Smith's eyes got big. He's got Tyler Zeller on him.
Carolina comes away with it. Marshall. Right down the middle. Now that looked like the Kendall Marshall we saw the second half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen that in this game up to this point, but a good aggressive rush up the floor.
49-36. Singler. Carolina comes up with it. Tar Heels have numbers. Offensive foul.
All right, Seth Curry's made some big defensive plays in this game, and Strickland a little over-aggressive this time. That's his game, though, end-to-end, getting to the rim. He's not a jump shooter.
It's Strickland's 4th, Mike.
And you can see it. Curry, he had him teed up the whole way. That is really sound defense with a guy bearing down at you at full speed.
Tremendous defense. Strickland never came under control. This is going to be called on Singler, I believe, isn't it? It is, and that's his 3rd.
And in not a smart way either. Trying to set a screen, never really got set.
Still plenty of time in the ball game. 14-42. Barnes, way too strong.
Another strong defensive play by Curry.
Here comes Smith working on Marshall. Takes it right to the rack and he's fouled.
Game's starting to open up a little bit, Tim. I thought in the first half it was more half court for both teams. Now they're starting to go end to end.
Team foul number 2.
Nolan Smith, player of the year in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Started out at St. John's College High School, moved over to Riverdale Baptist, then ended up at Oak Hill. Tremendous player. Closed captioning for today's telecast provided by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's Bo time. Mike, how incredible was it that Nolan Smith's dad, Derek, won the national title with Louisville in 1980 in Indianapolis, and then 20 years after that, here Nolan comes in, he wins the national championship in the same place, same town. The follow by Zeller.
Very emotional, too, for Nolan Smith. Derek was a teammate of mine in Philadelphia in a tragic early death. But it seemed like life came full circle for him when that happened.
You know, Nolan was there on the cruise with his dad when his dad passed away. Curry for 3, and he's fouled. Correction, Dawkins.
Now good kick out to Seth Curry, and boy, he's been terrific. This is the last thing you want to get out, and McDonald just following through on the play. But Seth Curry, Duke is putting a lot of pressure.
Seth Curry has hit that jumper a couple times in this ball game. I mean, he's almost in the front row.
North Carolina winning the free throw battle, Duke winning the three-point battle.
Tyler Zeller takes it in with a jump hook. He's now got 13 points. Kelly from beyond New York. Boy, Henson was looking for the long pass. Carolina comes up empty. Nolan Smith turns it over. And the foul.
Third foul on Nolan Smith. 3 on Singler, 3 on Smith. That was a good call, too. McDonald was the only one who committed to get on the floor right here. Kelly coming in late, but you could see Smith coming over the top.
Great hustle by both teams, Mike. Got a feeling that setting up is another classic. Mike Krzyzewski not happy with the call. 13-10 to play. Lead still 14 by Duke. Duke was playing at a very high level.
Not a lot of scorers out on the floor for North Carolina.
Kendall Marshall misses again.
Could help that team. It looked like Marshall had a wide open lane, but Plumlee closed it up quickly.
This is going to be against Carolina. It's called on Justin Watts.
Carolina and number 24, Justin Watts, is first. Team foul number 4.
So that's 14 fouls now against North Carolina.
Duke never got into the penalty in the first half. Only 6 personal fouls for North Carolina.
Singler with the turnaround jumper, bottoms.
Shot selection was going to be a key for him today, and that was terrific. Got a nice balance, curled the screen a little bit.
Curry takes it in the middle and kicks it back out to McDonald. How long will Harrison Barnes sit? Here's Kendall Marshall's shot is strong. Zeller with the putback, and he's fouled.
Credit Justin Watts for keeping that play alive. He initially got it up, and Zeller was able to get control.
And here comes Barnes off the bench. ACC is now on Facebook. All you have to do is log on to Facebook and become a fan of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Get breaking news, conference updates, and connect with other ACC fans from around the world.
Mason Plumlee picked up that foul, his third.
Zeller makes the free throw.
Plumlee returns for Duke. And Harrison Barnes for North Carolina.
Harrison Barnes checks in for the Tar Heels. Kelly goes out. Plumlee comes back in for Duke. Zeller has another one coming. And he misses that. Rebound by Kyle Singler. Singler again, working on Watts. Tries to back him in, turnaround jumper. Watts comes up with it, and Marshall will run. Zeller, he loses the handle. Here comes Smith. And he's fouled by Kendall Marshall. What he's capable of, certainly. He's only 3 of 10 from the floor today. Nolan Smith at the line. He's money.
In the first 2 games of this series, Nolan Smith shot 20 free throws against North Carolina, so he's had the ability to get inside and get fouled. That one was out on a break.
Duke and North Carolina for the ACC Championship game for the 11th time. 2 storied programs. In this game, it's been a double-digit lead, and it was 17-8. Duke has been in control. Henson takes it to the rack and scores. He's now in double figures. Henson has 10.
He and Zeller are both have been more active offensively in the paint in the second half.
Carolina still has not been able to make a sustained run against this defense.
Justin Watts has come in and been effective, especially on this end of the floor, and they were trying to give Barnes a little bit of a break, so Watts is the guy who's defending Singler.
And the turnover, traveled. Took too many.
Well, that's the second time that Singler's gotten called for the travel that way. He takes that first step without putting the ball on the floor.
Tries to gain an advantage by doing it. That's why they call it. And he's got 10 turnovers now for Duke. Over to Watts. Watts will spin right into Plumlee. And now Knox will take it at the rack. Henson tries to clean up the mess. And Duke comes away with it. Curry ahead to Smith. The alley-oop to Plumlee, and he's pushed by Knox. What a great look by Nolan Smith.
Yeah, we talk about the fact that Zeller and Henson are as good as anybody in the country as bigs running the floor. Mason Plumlee showed a little bit of a burst that time.
Mason Plumlee shooting 2.
Mason Plumlee, 6'10", 240-pounder from Warsaw, Indiana. Dad played basketball at Tennessee Tech. This is the first free throw.
But he's a guy, if he's out in the open floor, especially for this second group that's in there from North Carolina, you want to put him at the free throw line, not let him have any dunks.
Misses them both. We're about to go under 10 minutes. Barnes. What a sweet shot that was.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he's working himself back into the game with drives and being aggressive going into the paint area instead of settling for jump shots.
Barnes brings the Carolina crowd to its feet. Plumlee goes inside to his brother. Shot clock at 15. Curry, Singler. Shot clock at 8. Shot clock at 5. Out to Singler for 3. Curry with the follow. Yes!
Wow, and that's a nice job by Mason Plumlee to keep that ball alive on the miss. Curry in the right place at the right time.
Henson with a turnaround, Knox with a follow. Boy, that Curry bucket was big down here because the Carolina fans could feel a little bit of a run coming on.
Well, just getting those 50-50 balls, but it's been North Carolina that has been all over the offensive glass in this second half.
Plumlee, whistle on the foul. Foul is on John Henson, his second.
Miles Plumlee shooting 2.
So Miles Plumlee goes to the line. He's a 60% free throw shooter. A psychology major. And comes in handy in these matchups.
Ryan Kelly back on the floor. 4-2.
Kelly replaces Mason Plumlee. Knox gets the rebound. So we go under 9 minutes to play now in the championship game of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Tim Grant, Mike Cheminsky with you. Scott Kozłowski, Mike Hogwood, Corey Alexander.
Barnes with Nolan Smith on. Let's see if they can take advantage of that in the post. Now they got the switch back on Singler.
Step back jumper. See if that helps him.
Yeah, one of the first confident moves that I've seen him make offensively, looking for a shot.
61-49 after Marshall's jumper. Curry gets back to Nolan Smith. Rebound goes to Henson.
Pretty good job by Knox in keeping Smith out on the perimeter and settling for a tough shot.
Offensive foul. Third one we've seen on North Carolina in this ball game.
Yeah, Miles Plumlee stepping up that time. Justin Watts trying to get out of himself a little bit on the offensive end. Side got it over to me. There was nobody there, and it was a great moment. We did not have a good regular season. Came into the tournament as a 6th seed and were able to beat the number 3, 2, and 1 seeds in consecutive days.
I was just with Buck Williams not too long ago out to dinner. We still laugh about it. He can laugh now. He turned out to be a great pro, certainly a quality guy. And G-Man, the same goes for you, partner.
I had the good fortune to be a teammate of Buck's up at the Nets, and Henson now starting to become a goaltender and show up as a shot blocker in this game. Good defensive play there, his second.
Nolan Smith doing a great job managing this game. Drops a 2-ball on him.
Nolan Smith, and then Kendall Marshall was giving him a lot of room. He was respecting Nolan Smith's ability to drive the ball.
Duke has had the answers all afternoon. This dribbled off McDonald's knee.
Once again, and this is something that Duke's been able to do all game long, team in the half court. They've gotten the ball out of Kendall Marshall's hands and made other people make decisions.
13 turnovers now for the Tar Heels.
So look inside. Seth Curry got caught on the switch, and they were unable to get Barnes inside. Sometimes it's tough when you get those switches and Marshall didn't have the ball. It's tough to see. They're not always able to take advantage of those.
Curry. His shot is short. Marshall will run with it. Good job by Duke to get back. Crossover by Marshall and the block by Kelly. But Kelly's the last one to touch it, and so it'll belong to the Tar Heels.
Wow, that was a terrific move. Kendall Marshall just left Nolan Smith behind, but was unable to finish. Marshall now 3 of 10 in this game. We talk about second halves being tougher to shoot. Championship games, the whole game, that rim seems to get a little bit smaller.
28.
North Carolina only 1 3-pointer. Yesterday they had 8. That'll help. Right on cue.
Well, Singler tried to push Mason Plumlee out to pick up, but he was a little late, and that's all the room that Harrison Barnes needed.
Barnes makes it an 11-point game. Whistle and a foul away from the ball. If you want the latest information on your favorite ACC teams, all you have to do is check out the team pages section of the ACC.com, and it's brought to you by Toyota. For content you can't find anywhere else, visit the ACC.com. Kelly goes to the line to shoot 1 and 1.
Yeah, very reliable, 83%. ACC all-academic choice this year. You can see it reflected out on the court in the way he plays. Very cerebral player.
That was a team I never reached.
He played football, what do you expect?
I know you were on the all-academic team.
As again, we talked about that matchup, and Seth Curry getting posted up by Harrison Barnes called on the play. That's a tough matchup.
Foul is on Curry. That's his third. He's starting to tighten up a little bit, Mike, as we go down the stretch.
Yeah, that's a good job of Barnes understanding who's guarding him and where he needs to get to on the floor.
Carolina fans just would love to see it get down to single digits. And the roll for Barnes for 2.
Starting to come alive, and we talked about him shooting a low percentage, but he did not let that first half affect his second half.
A 9-point game. Seth Curry beyond the arc. Yes!
What a find by Nolan Smith, dribbling away. He knew where Seth Curry was going to be spotted up.
Marshall is fouled. Block will be on Nolan Smith. He doesn't like the call. That's 4 on Nolan Smith, the ACC Player of the Year.
Well, here's the look, and Harrison Barnes has really found his rhythm, and it's evident when shots like this are going down for you. And then down the other end, look at that find. The cross-court pass, the defense a little slow getting out there. So this is a time, this is where you got a senior who's won a national championship, and Nolan Smith and Mike Krzyzewski having the confidence to leave him out on the floor with 4 personal fouls.
Marshall makes the free throw. Try to make the lead 10.
There aren't a lot of people sitting down in the arena right now.
10-point game, 5.5 to play. The ACC Championship game. Packed house. Number 1 and 2 seeds. Great feed to Singler. Blocked.
What a recovery by Zeller.
Marshall. Barnes.
Wow, that was a big miss. Again, the North Carolina contingent sensing that momentum and run, and that was a very good look that Barnes had.
So very wisely, Nolan Smith pulls it out. He's going to try to change the tempo of the game a little bit. Looks up at the shot clock and try to melt it. 10 on the shot clock. Here he goes. Kick it out. Kelly beyond the arc. Splash! Marshall takes it up. Turnover. And again, Nolan Smith will take it out. How about the way he took the momentum right back from North Carolina?
And then a couple of threes with Curry and Kelly. He is orchestrating this offense beautifully
with 4 personals.
Yeah, he's got the thing to be worried about is the charge if he gets too deep into the lane.
Shot clock at 10 again, and here's the foul on Tyler Zeller.
And they are really blitzing that hard whenever he comes off a screen roll. So again, just knowing where your guys are spaced out along the baseline. Ryan Kelly is a 32% three-point shooter, and that's a little bit of a look of frustration. 9 points for Kelly.
Smith gets the roll, and Duke has just taken the momentum right back from North Carolina. Strickland goes out of the game. Leslie McDonald comes back in for the Tar Heels. Correction, they take Kendall Marshall out. Smith hits the roll again. And just like that, it's 71 to 56.
Nolan Smith, 9 assists, average 5 on the year.
Now the Tar Heels starting to run out of time. And he double dribbled.
Danny Ferry, one of the most versatile players in the history of the conference, really well schooled in all fundamentals, could do a lot on the floor.
North Carolina made a little bit of a run, got the lead down to 9. It was the first time it had been single digits since 17 to 8, and Plumlee turns it over.
See, and that's where you got to catch. If you're a big in that situation, you've got to catch and wait till somebody, a guard, a ball handler gets it. You can't put the ball on the floor.
Strickland brings it across the timeline. Kendall Marshall now off the bench. He'll check back in next dead ball. And this foul will be on Plumlee for a little bit of a push down low. That's 4 on Plumlee.
Anytime you're a big and your guy you're guarding catches it in the post, you can't have hands on him.
So that is 4 on Mason Plumlee, and North Carolina now is in the bonus. They'll shoot 1 and 1. Lloyd Williams coaching his 802nd game. What a career he's had since he graduated from Carolina. Tyler Zeller misses the free throw, and Duke gets it back.
Empty possession right there. We talked about how good of a free throw shooter he is. And what that also does is not allow North Carolina to get into their full court pressure.
The defending national champions trying to wrap up the ACC Championship. Under 3 minutes to play. The pass to Kelly, and it's taken away by the Tar Heels.
Got to go up stronger than that against this front line. What a terrific defensive play. He gets it back on the other end, just changed positions and came from the underneath to get the steal.
Now the Duke faithful are on their feet. They can feel the championship. 2:16, 2:15 to play. Shot clock is at 10. Nolan Smith with the running one-hander.
That's a senior play right there. Singler, instead of forcing a shot up against shot blockers inside, recycles the clock.
And again, they'll try to melt the clock. They spread the floor. Uncanny what Mike Krzyzewski has done at Duke. Underneath, exclamation point. Mike Krzyzewski wants a 30-second timeout.
Tim, that's what happens when you start having to chase and double team outside. You get spread out defensively, and if you take care of the basketball, you get dunks. Nice decision that time. The weak side a little late getting down in front of Plumlee, and he finishes it off.
While we have a break, it's time to announce the grand prize winner in our ACC Getaway Giveaway promotion. Wesley Cooper from Wake Forest, North Carolina is the winner of an E-Z-GO golf cart, a set of Callaway golf clubs, and a fantastic golf getaway to Maggie Valley Resort, beautiful Maggie Valley, North Carolina. Congratulations, Wesley. Thanks to all the ACC fans for your participation. And we thank our sponsors as well. Have a good time, Wesley Cooper.
All right, talk about balanced scoring. You've got 3 Blue Devils with double figures and then 3 others with 9 points. Everybody having a hand in this game. North Carolina, no points in the last 4 minutes.
And they can feel it's over. How about Nolan Smith playing the last few minutes with 4 personal fouls and orchestrating this game and stopping the Carolina run.
And still being effective and playing at the same level, not taking any plays off.
.65 seconds remain.
1 minute. 1 minute remaining.
And scores with 3 on the shot clock. Barnes is fouled, but it's a moot point now. If you want to see highlights of this game or any ACC basketball games, just check out the Haviland ACC Basketball Highlights now online. You can view action from each week's ACC Network tournament telecast. Log on to theacc.com. Well, this one not quite the classic we expected, but it was a classic performance by Duke.
Well, and they did it in 2 ways, really. They took 2 players out of the mix for North Carolina. Kendall Marshall did not have a great game, and the 2 seniors now getting a curtain call.
And a big hug from Coach Krzyzewski and all the coaches.
And for anybody who says the ACC Tournament Championship doesn't mean anything, I think that picture puts that to rest.
This would be Coach K's 13th ACC Championship. Had a nice visit with Mike on Monday. Went down to Durham, spent the day with him, talking about all of his success. Says, I really don't know how many championships I have. I know I love the kids and love the coach.
And he was just worried about this weekend, I can guarantee you that.
He was definitely focused. Henson with a little bit of a jumper. They just continue to find iron, and that'll end it. The last 25 seconds of the 2011 Atlantic Coast Conference Championship, and the Blue Devils of Duke will be crowned the winner.
And maybe a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Certainly something to put on the resume.
Duke's 16 straight NCAA berth. It's over.